Well, happy Sunday afternoon from Kleinshire. I hope your Sunday is going well. We just got back from Mass, and Rosemary's making a meal for somebody who had a baby recently. It's going to be pork and rice and all kinds of goodies from the farm, and she told me she wanted sauerkraut because, of course, what is pork without sauerkraut? The problem is that although we have a lot of sauerkraut, it's in one big 4-gallon jar, and once I open it, it's open. So my plan is to transfer it from that great big jar to these little jars. I found in the past that if I disturb the top of it and I don't do anything else with it, it tends to develop a lot of scuzz on top. So once this jar is open, I want it in smaller jars that we can store in the fridge and hopefully get a little more longevity out of our sauerkraut. A reason that I wanted to make this video is it is March 20th. This sauerkraut was made back in August. So August all the way to March. And it's amazing to me as I discover more about the fermentation of vegetables, just how long they can last in their fermented state. I used to think that fermentation was something that added a little life, but you had to get rid of it before it molded even more. But what we've discovered as we have dived into fermentation more in the last year is that it is an alternative method of preservation. In fact, I'm becoming of the opinion that it's a superior method of preservation because water bath canning, pressure canning, all those things, when you raise the food to a high temperature, you kill all the healthy microbes, which is half the reason besides the fiber that you're eating vegetables. All those microbes and all the healthy benefits of greens. When you ferment a vegetable, instead of killing it like a water bath canner would, all that microbial growth, which is good for your gut, is increased through the fermentation process. So we're fans of fermentation around here for sure. We've been fermenting beans and banana peppers and scapes, although scapes really haven't been a hit. They just don't taste right, I'm told. But of course, it all comes down to, as anyone with German ancestry will tell you, it all comes down to the sauerkraut. So, sauerkraut's what we're going to look at today. We generally keep our fermented things in the basement in the winter. The temperature, I wish it were a little bit colder than it is, but it does stay in the upper 50s down here. And that's not too far off what you want for fermented vegetables. Back into the bowels of the house. All right, among other goodies here, what do we have? Look at all that sauerkraut. All right, time to get it up. See, toward the top, you end up with a little oxygen getting in. The idea when you're fermenting is to keep the whatever it is you're fermenting below the surface of the salt water. And you can see at the top here that there's a little mold. Really, what happened here was you had evaporation over time, and since we have so much of this, and I'm not always keeping track of everything very well, the water level dropped at some point, and I ended up adding salt water, but of course you had a little oxygen exposure there. So we're looking at, I'll take this plastic bag out full of water that kept most of the kraut submerged. I'll take that out, and I'm probably very carefully going to scoop to about here. You can see about where it turns a nicer color. But below that, oh, it looks wonderful. What are you working on there?
Cake with clements.
Oh, look at that.
And it's really yummy.
Oh, that is gorgeous.
And you know how I know? Because I snitched. It's a buttermilk lemon cake with the butter lemon frosting and then homemade black cap jam.
The homemade black cap jam is what the letters are made out of there? Yes?
Yes. Sorry, I'm distracted.
Obviously.
And this is a bow and arrow.
Oh.
Clement's a hunter.
I see. Well, very cool. You're going to help me with kraut, though, right?
In a moment.
Oh, okay. Let's see what we have here. Oh, yeah? Well, it looks like part of the problem was that the bag lost its water. Serves me right for using a Ziploc bag to lock things in. All right. Little gooey on top there. Take off a bunch of this. Want to get as much of this liquid and the slimy kraut on top off as possible. The pigs will certainly enjoy it. But once I get below this, you should notice a change. Here, take a taste. And tell me what you think. I think I'm fine.
It can't. It's not able to spray poison. It won't do anything.
What do you think?
It can't spray poison.
All right.
You can tell there's still just a slight bit from the front. It's not bad.
It's got crunch to it. This is good. So we've got the top layer off. And now my goal is to transfer a bunch of this to these gallon jars, where they'll go in the fridge at a colder temperature and hopefully last a little longer. I think I'm going to use these things for a while and see how that goes. It's a process. So Rose, do you want to tell me why you like sauerkraut so much?
Because I like salty, tangy things.
Salty and tangy. Uh-huh. And you get that from sauerkraut. Does it have anything to do with your German heritage, do you think?
Possibly.
You're a kraut.
Maybe. I do have German in me. I love things that honestly, dill pickles is one of the things that I would always get for Christmas as a present.
Mm-hmm.
So anything like that. And sauerkraut, same thing. I love sauerkraut. It just tastes good, and this stuff is really good for you too.
Well, in the past, you've had me can some of it so that we could have it year-round.
For shelf.
I think this is the point at which, in the past, we've been out of live kraut.
Mm-hmm.
But what's the benefit of this? Does it taste different? Like, why live kraut instead of kraut from a can?
So this fermented kraut, you actually don't lose. It's not crisp in the sense like fresh cabbage, but it's not mush like when you can.
It has a crunch to it.
There's a nice crunch to it. The flavor is really great.
Does a lot of that get dulled when you can it?
It does, and like I said, it gets just mushier. I mean, I still don't mind canned, but you can't beat the taste of the fermented kraut.
Well, the big thing for me is that it's not dead. It's alive. It's taken all the natural microbes of the cabbage and it's multiplied them and expanded them, all that good bacteria. And there's a lot of research out there about the gut microbiome now. And when we eat irradiated vegetables with everything dead in them, you get fiber, you get some mineral and vitamin, I suppose,
Sometimes they add stuff to fortify it.
Yeah, I suppose, if you're adding it to preserve it. But the benefit of eating live vegetables is that they're higher in mineral, aren't they? Mineral and vitamins, generally. You leach them out by cooking.
And then the probiotics.
Mm-hmm. And all of that's there in fermented vegetables as well. So it's a preservation method which leaves you with a product which is a lot healthier for you. And something that we're discovering, given it's March 15th, and this is the way our kraut looks, that we can enjoy year-round. That's good for this one. Just a little bit for this one.
I want mostly juice.
Yep. All right.
It smells like sauerkraut.
Yum, yum.
Don't wear your Sunday church clothes to do sauerkraut.
All right, I need to put it down. That's good. And there we go. 4 gallons of kraut. We'll see how long into the summer we enjoy that. Have a great rest of your Sunday, everybody. If it's still Sunday when I post this. Otherwise, have a great week. Subscribe. We're having adventures. We're showing how we do things. Follow along.